Let's continue our discussion of rigid body motion. I want to start with writing down the angular velocity omega using Euler angles. Okay, so let's go back a few slides and visit the page where we wrote down Euler angles for the first time and try to recall. Somewhere here it should be. Yes. So I hope you recall this. I have summarized here. Let me see this thing. So rotation by phi about z axis. So you see here the first rotation was about the z axis, which was by an angle phi. Okay, and then you had rotation by theta about the nodal line. So you took the z axis and brought to its new position z prime by rotating by an angle theta about this line of nodes. Okay, and then the final rotation was by angle psi about the z axis. So recall, by after you turned by angle theta, your z axis z prime was at the right location, and all you had to do was bring x and y at the right place, and for that you needed to just do rotation by angle psi about the z prime axis. Okay, so these were the things which defined the Euler angles theta, phi and psi, and today we want to express angular velocity omega using these angles. So what I've done is I have redrawn before I start the lecture the same figure in a slightly more professional manner. So the black portion of this figure are your space coordinates, your x, y and z, capital X, capital Y and z. Okay, so let me write it down. No, I don't want to use pink, I want to use something else. Okay, so these are your capital X, capital Y and capital Z. These are our space coordinates. And then let me write maybe the dashed one. These are x1, x2 and x3. x3 is perpendicular to that plane made by x1 and x2, and these are the body axes. Okay, body coordinates. Yes. Okay, so now we want to express angular velocity using Euler angles. That's what we want to do. So recall what I showed just now. Our first rotation was by angle phi about this axis, right? So let me write it down here. Okay, by angle phi. So when this, if you do a rotation about z axis, okay, then the angular velocity would be along the z direction, right? So your phi dot, which is the angular velocity corresponding to this rotation, will be pointing along the z axis. Okay, then our second rotation was by angle theta. Okay, and this was being rotated about the line of nodes, which is here. This is the line of node. Okay, so your angular velocity theta dot is pointing along this direction. So let me put theta dot here. Okay, so theta dot points along this. Your phi dot points along that. And then your last one is by angle psi. Too small. And this is rotating about the x3 axis. So your psi dot will point along x3. Okay, so these are the angular velocities which are pointing along these directions. That's good. Now if I want to express angular velocity omega in the body coordinates, okay, I want to express omega in body coordinates, meaning I want to decompose omega along x1, x2 and x3. You could also decompose omega along capital X, capital Y and capital Z, so that will be a decomposition in the space coordinates. Okay, so let's start with first the body coordinates. Okay, so what I should do is I should first find out the components of phi dot, psi dot and theta dot along body axis, and from that I will extract omega 1, omega 2 and omega 3. Okay, so theta dot, let's start with theta dot, which is along the line of nodes, as I said, along the line of nodes. Okay, meaning here, so your theta 1 dot, theta 2 dot, theta 3, okay, it will take too much space, so let's write one by one. Theta 1 dot, so this is theta dot component 1. Let's see, theta dot, where is x1? It's here, so I have to project theta dot along this, so it will be just become theta dot cos psi. Okay, so theta dot is the magnitude of this vector, and you decompose it, so you get cos psi, and then for theta dot 2 you get minus theta dot sin psi. Okay, and theta 3 dot is how much? See, theta dot is along the line of node, which means it is in the in this plane. Okay, and your x3 is perpendicular to that plane, right? So it's clearly 0. Okay, next let's look at phi dot. I don't know why I put a vector here, it should have been on the top. So you can correct this one, you can write it as just like this. Okay, so phi dot is along the capital Z axis. Okay, remember, because the rotation was about capital Z. So good, let's say look at phi dot. So what you can do is first take phi dot and project it onto this plane, which is denoted by the red curve, red dashed lines. Okay, so you can do that projection, which will give you phi dot sin theta. Okay, and the third component will be phi dot cos theta. Okay, so once you have projected on this plane, you further project on x1 and x2, which will involve just sines and cosines of psi. So here is your answer. I hope it's clear. Phi 1 dot is phi dot sin theta. Okay, so this projects onto the plane, this new plane, and then you further project it along the x1 axis. Okay, because you see your x1 is just moved by an angle psi from this one, you will have a sin psi here. Now I write phi dot second component. Again, you have to start with phi dot sin theta, and then you project onto the x2 and you get a cos of psi. Okay, and then you have the third component phi 3 dot, which is just projection along this, and it's trivially phi dot cos theta. Let's see, all looks fine, everything is fine. And then we have the third piece, where is it? Psi dot. Psi dot is along x3 axis, so it has only one component. So psi dot first component is 0, psi dot second component is 0, and psi dot third component is how much? Psi dot, right? It's the entire, the vector is pointing in the third direction, x3 axis. Okay, so now how do I get my omega 1, omega 2 and omega 3? I should just collect the components which are in, let's say I want to know omega 1, so I should collect all the angular velocity components that are in the direction of x1. So if I'm looking at omega 1, I should take this, this and this, which is 0. So omega 1 would be phi dot sine theta sine psi plus theta dot cos psi. Okay, and omega 2 dot will be phi dot sine theta cos psi minus theta dot sine psi, and phi omega 3, capital omega 3 dot would be, sorry, capital omega 3 would be phi dot cos theta, this is 0, plus psi dot. Okay, so let me write down that for you. Omega 1 is phi dot sine theta sine psi plus theta dot cos of psi. That's correct. Omega 2 is your phi dot sine theta cos of psi minus theta dot sine of psi, and omega 3 is phi dot cos theta plus psi dot. Okay, and this we have, what we have done is the angular velocity has been written in the body coordinates. But you could as well do this decomposition in the space frame, space coordinates in terms of x, y, and capital X, capital Y, and Z. Okay, and that will be also fairly simple. So I leave it as an exercise for you. Just repeat what I have done and decompose. Instead of this x1, you decompose along capital X, capital Y, and capital Z. Okay, and you should be able to obtain the following result. Let me write it down. You should get that omega 1 is theta dot cos of phi plus psi dot sine of phi sine of theta. Omega 2 should be theta dot sine phi minus psi dot cos phi sine theta, cos phi sine theta, and omega 3 should be phi dot plus psi dot cos theta. Okay, this is your angular velocity. In space coordinates or inertial coordinates, space coordinates. Okay, so let's see everything is fine or not. Yeah, for example, just I'll show you one thing. For example, look at this one, theta dot cos phi. Okay, how does it arise? Of course, because there's a theta dot, it is corresponding to the theta dot, and we are projecting it along the first axis. Okay, so it will arise from here. So you have your, where is it? That is phi dot. Something wrong. This is also phi dot. This is also phi dot. This is what? This should have been theta dot. This should be theta dot. Let me check. Correct. Sorry for the mistake. Let me try to use the eraser. Oh, no. Okay, I should not use eraser. I don't know how to use it. Let's go back to the pencil. Okay, everything is fine. So anyway, this should be theta dot. Sorry for the mistake. Okay, so what I was saying was, because this is theta dot, instead of projecting it along those directions, if you project it along this capital X, okay, you will get theta dot cos of phi. Okay, so theta dot will contribute this, which is what you see here, theta dot cos of phi, and similarly you can obtain all other terms. Okay, that's good. Now yeah, the next thing what I want to do is I want to write down the rotational kinetic energy. As you may recall, we have written down an expression last time somewhere here. Yeah, so this is the total kinetic energy of the system, and this part I call T rotational. Okay, this piece, half omega I omega. Okay, by the way, I hope you can you have seen that this, if you are viewing it as vectors and matrices, this is a row vector, a matrix, times a column vector. That's the multiplication. That is how this thing will appear in matrix multiplication. So if I write omega T omega, okay, it will not be like omega T or something, because you have to carefully look at the indices. Okay, so let's go to our rotational kinetic energy. Of a rigid body. So as I said, T rotation is half omega I k omega k. Okay, now what I will do is I will choose the x1, x2 and x3 to be the principal axis of inertia. Okay, I can do so. I can always choose whatever I want. Now once I do that, my inertia tensor becomes diagonal, and in that case my rotational kinetic energy becomes I1 omega 1 square plus I2 omega 2 square plus I3 omega 3 square. Okay, and we have already found omega 1, omega 2 and omega 3 in terms of our Euler angles here. So we may want to write down the rotational kinetic energy for let's say symmetric top in terms of the Euler angle. So I give you a small exercise. It's fairly trivial. Okay, at some point I said that I will use green color for exercises. Let me try to do that. So for a symmetric top, show that here I am using I1 is equal to I2. Okay, show that the rotational kinetic energy is half I1 phi dot square sine square theta plus theta dot square. These are coming from I1 and I2 terms, and then the third term is I3 phi dot cos of theta, that's correct, plus psi dot square. Let's check. Phi dot cos theta plus psi dot. Phi dot cos theta plus psi dot. Okay, so this square gives this, and the first two terms combine to give this one, I1 and I2 terms. Okay, all looks good. And then you can check another thing, that if you are looking at a spherically symmetric top, spherical top where I1 is same as I2 and they all are equal to I, then you get T rotational to be half I phi dot square plus theta dot square plus psi dot square plus 2 phi dot psi dot cos of theta. Okay, so you see that the kinetic term has cross terms also. Phi dot psi dot is there. It's not diagonal in phi theta and psi. Okay, so we'll talk further about the rotational motion of rigid body in the next video.